We'll begin your video tour as best I can from the front porch of the cabin. Here's the fire pit. And we're looking down toward the east. Going along the south side of the building toward the east. We're looking toward the drive comes in from County Road 224, which comes around past that half-dead pecan tree over there. Now we're going to walk down to the creek, which is just off the cabin, and we're going to follow the main trail, which is right over here. You can drive down this in a two-wheel drive vehicle of any kind. You may scrape the bottom in one place or another, but not badly. Now we're at the bottom of the hill. Well, we're midway, and at the bottom the trail goes right toward the west and left to the east. And the stream valley runs just inside those cliffs on the far side. We're going to take the trail to the left around the dam. So we're at the bottom of the hill, and we're going to follow the trail down there across that hump at the end, which is the dam. And from the dam I'll show you pictures of the creek. The trail makes a U-turn down there and goes up on the other side of the creek. That's where we came from. I hope it's recording. We're at the top of the hill now on the south side of the creek, and you'll see the trail goes left. It goes sort of straight, and it goes to the right. So we want to take this trail to the right. All of these trails through here have been shredded. It's pretty easy to get lost. If you take a compass, you probably won't get lost. Use the compass on your smartphone. So there's the valley down there. We're going to continue along this path to where the stack of rocks are. Kind of meanders along the side of the stream valley. Now, here's the next split that we come to. And right there is the pile of rocks that I was referring to. Where my zoomer's working. So at this fork here, we're going to take this trail up here, which goes to the blind, back beyond that big mesquite tree. So now we're at the big mesquite tree, and the trail again goes to the right and it goes to the left. To the left you see the blind. Climb up that little ladder, tuck yourself in. The feeder is just beyond, perhaps you can see right down there. That oak tree right there to the right of the blind has some limbs in there. If you want to climb and use a bow, that would be about a 25-30 yard shot to anything around that feeder. This is the trail we came up from the pond, and you were following it down the trail that turns right, and you go probably 150 to 200 yards before you look for that stack of rocks at the fork in the road. This blind at the bottom of the hill is not yet functional. I have stuff stored in there. It may be by the time you get here. This is the cabin. We came down that hill right there. Now we're going down this hill, and we're going down that path where those boulders are along the path, and that's the pergola down there. That's the other blind, one of the other blinds. So we're going to get down there and go across the crossing. This is the pergola slash blind, and you can see the gun ports in there. You can sit there and you can see down the creek. There's the crossing where we're going toward the next blind. And it also has this area as a field of fire. Make sure nobody's coming. Don't hit my canoe, which is not for your use. There's the trail that we just came down. This is the other view from the pergola, which is looking across the creek and over to the blind, which I don't have set up yet. We're doing that today. And it's about 150, 200 yards back there. But the hogs and the deer pass through this area. And they also come out of the caves, which are just over in that area, which is maybe 50 yards beyond the crossing through the woods. Now, if the weather holds for you, you can go swimming in crystal clear water. There's some grass in the shallow areas, not in the deeper areas. There's a bass going by there, a small one. But there are other larger bass in here and down at the main pond, which is below the crossing. Through the woods there, you may not be able to see it, but there is a bridge to the island. I don't think you'll find much on the island, but you can get a better view of the what pigs might be in those caves on the other side there of the creek. And the crossing. Here's the bridge to the island through there. You follow this straight up. Well, it's not a straight trail, but the main trail goes kind of a little right, a little left, up the hill. You can get there in a two-wheel or four-wheel drive vehicle. And at the top, beyond the tree line that you'll run into, is the sunflower field. It was cultivated back in the spring. It may have some volunteer oats growing there if we ever get rain again. You'll see that the stream is still running. It's one of the only running streams in Corio County that I know of. It's spring-fed water. Beautiful. You can drink it, but don't blame me. I've drank it, but I can drink anything except whiskey. Continuing up the trail from the crossing toward the sunflower field, come across this area here. There will be a feeder right in there. And I shredded most of this area so that you'll be able to see it from the pergola blind, which is right down there. Now we're going to continue up the trail to show you the tree blind that hunts this feeder also. And there's also an archery stand which is a 2x12 across some branches in this oak tree up here. That's where the feeder's gone, right there. There's a crossing across the creek, which you can jump across. If you go left, it goes to the neighbor's property. Do not trespass on the neighbor's property. I placed a wire up there which would help you determine where it is, but he's cleared most of his creek bottom. Now, this feeder in there is hunted from a blind up here. So we came up the main trail here and we're taking a left. Shredded. So you shouldn't be able to get lost until you get up to the tree where the blind is. It's only 90 degrees and no breeze is why I'm huffing, puffing a little. So there's the tree blind, and just to the east of that is where the boards are. May be able to pick out a horizontal board in there where you can stand and shoot deer. And it hunts the feeder, which will be right down there over that low cedar bush. To get there, to get to the tree blind, I have to come up here on this trail, follow the shredded path to the right, which gets you to this ladder under the tree. I'm going to spray for wasps today, and hopefully there won't be there by the time you visit, but I'll leave a can of spray there anyway. So check it out with a flashlight before you go poking your heads in there. Now as we're heading back to the cabin, you'll see the crossing down there, and we're about 75, 80 yards south of the crossing, and this trail here goes off to your left as you're coming from the cabin, and it goes back to where you can see in the caves along the cliffs on the south side of the creek. There's a place where you can stand above those caves if you want to watch for anything coming in or out. Now as we're coming from the cabin on the way out the driveway, we're going to see another blind, which is down this road. And we turn right there before we go past the big pecan tree. It's a pretty well traveled trail. Okay, so we came from the cabin. We're going down the trail here. There's the blind. Just put a new roof on it. So this blind, that's that feeder down there. And again, that's about 150, 170 yard shot. But deer pass through this area also. Now you need to note when you're using this blind that you need to remove the windows before you shoot. So take your flashlight and make sure you move the little clips and take the windows out before you shoot. Thanks. This is the main trail, continued from where you came across the creek at the concrete crossing. branches off to the right here, and that goes over to the neighbor's property. Don't go beyond the wire. It goes near the creek, but that would be trespassing. We're coming to the south end of the main trail where the hedgerow is that goes to the sunflower field, which you can see in the background there. It turns right. Continuing to this string of wire, on the other side of which is the neighbor's property. Turning left, you're still on Heron Hollow property. And you're in the sunflower field. The property goes to the right, but I wouldn't suggest going down there. You can follow the trail and stay on Heron Hollow property, but not advisable. Turning left, you get down along the hedgerow, and there are some hunting lanes cut in the sunflower field for dove hunters or deer hunters.